What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology. We're back. We're continuing in the book of the James. We are on James chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. And we're about to get into a little bit of different, well, it's not different, but it feels like that James has changed the subject a bit. And so let's just go in and see what I'm talking about. Remember, we're on James 4, 13 through 17. If you haven't read it yet, stop the tape. Go ahead and check that out. If you have already read it, man, let's dive in. Ask the 4 questions. The first question is, what is James actually saying? What words are James speaking, and what is he trying to convey to us? Well, it says that, basically what James is saying is that you shouldn't think that you can do whatever you want to do. You got these guys that are saying, we're going to go to the city, we're going to make a profit. He says, we're going to go to this city, we're going to go sell some stuff, and we're going to make a profit. And then he's like, no, you can't do that. He's like, you don't know what your life is, man. He says, you don't know what tomorrow will bring. He says, you're just a miss here one day and gone the next. Instead, he said, if the Lord wills, then you will do this or do that. He says, because if you don't say that, it says you're boasting in your own arrogance. Like, what he's saying is like you're thinking that you have the ability or control over your own life when you don't. And he says all such boasting is evil. So to think that you have the ability to do whatever you want, your own autonomy outside of God's desire or his will, says, man, you're boasting, and that's evil. And then he finishes with this, which seems kind of odd, but we'll explain it here in a little bit. It says that for the one who knows right and it doeth not, to him it is a sin. So to know to do the good and then to not do it, to him it is a sin. And so I think the idea that James is saying is that now that you understand these principles, specifically attaining to the fact that that God is sovereign over everything, and that we should desire to seek his will in whatever we do before we do it. He says, then now that you know this, he says, if you don't do it, you are committing sin. I think that's the thing. I think it's an overarching theme, though. It's really, truly to know the good to do. If you know what's right and you don't do it, then it is a sin. But I think specifically pertaining to this, it's just understanding that James has laid out some principles, and to not live your life under his sovereignty, which is basically what he's been saying this whole time. He says, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God. He says that we should submit to God and flee the devil. So I think this is just another part of knowing the good thing to do, which is submitting to God, and not doing it is a sin. So what's this saying about God? Well, it is saying that he's sovereign. He's the king. He controls all things. He has all matters under his hand. Every single thing is under his will and his way. He is all controlling. What does it say about man? When we claim autonomy from God, then we boast in our own abilities, and that's sin. We think that we can do things separate from him. It may work for a time, but there is a consequence, and because it's sin. So there is a consequence because it's sin. And so I think that's what it's saying about man. We boast in our own abilities sometimes, and that we have our own autonomy. But how can we apply these things, these truths that we're learning to our lives today? Well, I think the idea is the same thing that I just said earlier, that James has been echoing for a couple of episodes as we've been going through, is submit ourselves to God in everything we do. And the things of the future that we desire to do, we submit to God to say, if it is your will, I will do this. If it's your desire, I will do this. And as we do those things and we rely and put our lives under his kingship, I think things, they work out. I think they go better. And so, today, as we live our lives, whatever it is that you know you must do or have to do or feel you want to do, put it up under the sovereignty, the umbrella of God, so that he may keep you as you go about and doing whatever it is that you must do. I appreciate you guys for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.